Royal family. Long time no see. I am here today to finally give you the live that I said I was going to give you a while back. And we are talking about let me pull open my notes. Let me pull open my notes so I can stay on track. Look, y'all, my little song got real. I'm weak. I actually do have a song, y'all, that I made with an ex and it's mine. He's like, I can have it, so all royalties go to me. And I think I'm gonna share it. I'm actually excited because I've always wanted to be a singer, right? And like he actually did help me progress in that light. So I'm actually in school for audio production now. So best believe music will be coming soon. Okay, but anyway, so this Bible study is about parenting and is about the Bible and how people use it and what did that mean? Oh, y'all, this is juicy. Okay, so first off, I know no one's in the live. Maybe I should wait. Maybe somebody will come jump in the live. Nah, I ain't waiting on nobody because the message is gonna get put out anyway. So I wanted to see how many people, like, what do you think? What is the acronym for Bible? Do any of you know? Everyone's like, Bible this, Bible that, Bible this. Ooh, verses. I remember verses. Do you know the acronym for Bible? Give it a moment. As if I got people in here even though I don't. And that's okay. Okay, so the acronym for Bible is Basic Lessons Before Life Eternal. And I feel like that go over a lot of people's head because everyone's so stuck on the Bible and the Bible verses, realizing that's the basic lessons. Basic. That's like kindergarten. And after kindergarten, don't you have to progress and go deeper, right? And learn more, right? Right? Okay. Keep that in mind as I go through everything that I'm about to break down to you. So, while I was doing this Bible study, because I've been running into and meeting a lot of older individuals that, oh, I'm doing great. I hope you are, love. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. May your butthole get better. Anywho, so I've been doing a lot of research in terms of parenting, and like the ideology that all these elders that are parents or just older in general, like they misinterpret a lot from the Bible, like in terms of saying that they're of God, but then a lot of these elders and a lot of these parents, they don't respect their children, and that's something that's in the Bible. Like that was one of the main verses that stood out to me. It's like, oh, y'all love preaching about the Bible and God, but y'all don't even respect the kids that y'all pushed out. Like, no, we got to do better. So I looked up some parenting verses, and if you want to go check those out, that was Deuteronomy 6 verses 6 through 7, Proverbs 1:8, and Proverbs 22:6, and then Ephesians 6:4. So those verses strictly talk about parenting, right? And then I also reached up family. Family, those verses would be Exodus 10:2, Deuteronomy 6:7 as well, Ephesians 5:21 and 6:4, and 1 Timothy 3:5. And you know, it's kind of crazy how when I was doing this research, so I broke it down: parenting, family, friendship, belief, creation, perspective, wisdom, truth. And I literally wrote verses down, right? Why are you in here? And Deuteronomy 6:7 shows up twice, okay? Genesis shows up twice. Psalm shows up a handful of times. So those are very important. So what I took the liberty of doing, I took the liberty of researching what parenting is, what family means, what a friend is, and what a steward is. Because in a lot of those verses that I just gave you, steward is used a lot, okay? And so what I did was I did the Google version, which is in purple, and then I did the spiritual version, which came from the verse, and that's in blue, right? And so first, we're going to start off with friend. So based off of Google, it says a friend is a person whom one knows, with whom has a bond of mutual affection. Okay? So that is, a friendship is a bond of mutual affection. So it blows my mind that we have elders out here today that feels as though, what exactly? A friendship is a person whom one knows, with whom has a bond of mutual affection. But yet we have parents out here that believe that they can't be friends with their child. No, honey, I do not believe that, because if I did believe that, I would most be definitely going to hell, since I used to be depressed and suicidal and tried to take my life. So no, it has nothing to do with what we believe. It's not about what you believe. It's not about how you choose to live this life. It's all about your relationship with God. Do you actually seek him? Do you put God first? Do you give him time each and every day? Because for the ones texting, you're so, well, I don't believe Jesus is God, then I go to hell. Nope, not saying that. First of all, Jesus isn't God. He became one with God. God is a consciousness. It is not an actual person or entity. Even in the Bible, you can see Jesus say, I spoke to God. I sat with God. He even says, I am one with God. Jesus in the Bible don't ever claim that he's actually God. He claims that he is one with the source, the God source, the highest frequency of all the frequencies there is. So stay tuned, because I have a whole nother channel. Exactly, see, and that's what I like to explain to people. Spirituality and religion is two different things. Religion puts God in a box. That consciousness, they put that consciousness in a box. So religion, you get some truth of it, but you don't get the full spectrum of who God really is. Like, Christians will love to say, oh, God is almighty, God is powerful, God is this, God is that, but then you're choosing to accept the religion that puts a cap on his power and how great he actually is and the things he can actually do. And you know, it's funny. People don't even realize, like, everyone's so afraid of the devil, right? Why? God made him. What are we afraid of? Like, God did that. So I'm not even trying. I live a life to where I don't give power to the devil. Like, prime example, say I wanted a new car. I go to God and I be like, God, I need this new car. I want this new car. I pray to God. I give God what he tell me to give him in order to get this new car. So I know my new car coming. But then, it's time for me to get the car, and then all of a sudden I'm worried, I'm fear, I'm doubtful. That's the devil. Mentally, it's a consciousness. God is all about knowing. Okay. We already know devil, Lucifer, morning star, whatever you want to call him. He's all about confusion, deception, and all that jazz, right? Exactly. Moses and Adam walked and talked with God. Thank you. I'm so, I don't need anything from you to get a car. No, he does, because what did he say? What does God say in the Bible? He says, put me first, right? He says, don't be idolizing anything outside of him, right? Those are things he's telling you that he needs from you. So another thing, like, I find it funny that people are wanting to remember this Bible front and back, like trying to remember the verses and be able to recite the verses. God don't care about you remembering what's in this book. It's basic lessons before life eternal. Basic lessons. So at the end of the day, it's good to use this book. It's good to know verses. It's good to go to Psalms and pray. People, Christianity, religions idolize the book. They idolize the book. Jesus didn't have a book back in the day, did he? No. Jesus had himself in source. And he went to source, which was in himself. That's why us here today, we're struggling a lot. Because instead of us just putting this book down, because this is a great book, it gives us the basic lessons. We know that, right? Sorry, basic information, Bible, basic information, not basic lessons, but you know what I mean. Had to correct myself. Basic information before life eternal is what it is. But at the end of the day, Jesus didn't have a book, didn't have to go to an outside source outside of himself to get what God had ordained for him. So when Jesus died, we automatically got that within ourselves. Like, that was the point of the sacrifice altogether. Can we stop assuming the angel? And also, people can change, and she never said she would. Bullshit. This shit is, what you mean bullshit? What's bullshit? If you gonna say something, say it with your chest. Because the whole point of this in my channel is for us to evolve and expand. We need to get off the basics and we need to go deeper. And I get a lot of people are afraid to go deeper because they feel as though, and that's how the devil has worked this whole time. He, like my homie said in the beginning, where he at? Trey Mendiso talking about, he on the same page with me with saying, see, another Christian would disagree with you and stuff, making some real good, valuable points to what I'm saying. Like, he's one of those people, clearly, based off of how he's talking in this chat, that he actually sits with God. He actually has a relationship with God. He actually and him getting on here, me saying anything I'm going to say isn't going to take away from what he knows to be true from his relationship with God, what God has told him. And I can't sit here and tell that dude that he's wrong about anything. And if someone does come in here and be like, oh, you're wrong, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. Clearly, you're not as deep in your spirituality or your relationship with God to understand what I'm saying. And that is okay. It don't bother me, okay? Oh, yes, that's why. Y'all, and when I tell y'all, it took me so long to get my car. So, story time about my car. So, the car that you currently see me in, I live in my car. That's the first thing. I actually live in this car. So, it is also my home. And, I'm still grateful for it, though. Like, I still be out here giving to people, but it took me a while to get my car. Like, I was growing up in high school, 16, 17 years old, looking at everybody having their sweet 16s, looking at everybody getting a car from their parent right out of getting their license. Not me. I had to wait till I was 18 because I couldn't afford it at the time, because sadly you have to get insurance before you even take your road test and get on the road. So backwards. You got to have insurance before you even have a physical car. So did that, waited till I was 18, got my car. I didn't get my first car until I was 23 years old. And you know, young me would have been like, young me was so big on comparing myself to everyone and like, oh my gosh, oh, I'm so behind, I'm so late. No, you're not. And if you're feeling that way, you're working on something, you're not behind, you're not late. It's all in God's timing. God said, you seek and you will find. But in his timing. That's the part that a lot of people don't talk about. You seek, you will find, but you will not find when you're ready to have it right then and there. You're going to find it when God needs you to have it, right? So, 23, got into a car accident. Totaled my first car. No, the accident was not my fault, but I got in an accident. Totaled my first car, okay? Per that accident, I saw my second comma in my life. $9,000. That's what I got. Second comma in my life, okay? And you guys are probably asking, $9,000, how are you living in your car? Well, see, it's called catching up. I was behind, working on my car, trying to be a part of the rat race. Everyone focused on bills, woo. So a lot of that paycheck went to catching up on my car so that I could keep my car. But then as I went through that experience, I was like, you know what? If it was to ever happen again, I learned a valuable lesson. I'm going to just let the car go. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to just let the car go. Because at the end of the day, I'm richer with God having control over my life than me trying to control my life. And I can't say when I got my first car, I was trying to control everything in my life. Okay. So that was actually pretty cool that I figured that out. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying, because we kind of got a little bit off topic. So that's what a friend is. And then I looked up friend in the Bible, Proverbs 27:17, John 15:13. And friend in the Bible says, support each other's journey toward higher consciousness, virtue, and divinity. So, friend has nothing to do, friend isn't even a bad thing. So why is it that we were raised by parents that think that if they're friends with us, that they're being a bad parent? Like, it's very misconstrued. So then I went ahead and researched family. So family is a group of one or two parents and child living together as a unit, all descendants of a common ancestor. All descendants of a common ancestor. So then I looked up family. This definition came from Ephesians 2:19 and Matthew 12:50. And it says a community of believers united by shared faith, love, devotion to God. Rather than just blood ties, eternal bond that provides support, accountability, and spiritual growth. So how many of y'all can sit here and say y'all got a family like that? Your whole family devote your life to God. Like, even when things go wrong, you like, all right, God, thank you. Clearly you're protecting me. Because when you get rejected, that doesn't mean God saying F you to your face or that you did anything wrong. Sometimes, no, all the time God's rejecting or you getting denied for something is literally God protecting you. That doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. Because like I said, prime example with my car, I waited for years to get my car. And I was even asking God, ooh, I am not getting a car yet. Everyone around me getting a car. Everyone my age got a car. They whipping it. It just wasn't my time. Until I finally got my car. Wasn't the Bible? What wasn't the Bible? Tasm in? I don't even know how to say that. Sorry if I butchered it. Wasn't the Bible? What wasn't the Bible? What do you mean by that? Wasn't the Bible only given to rich people and they changed it? Wasn't the Bible only given to rich people and they changed it? It wasn't given to them. They stole the Bible, actually. And yes, they did change it. They took out many books, like all these books, right? So the Bible, the real Bible, apparently has 40 authors. I actually recently just learned that while I was doing some research about some stuff. And apparently the Bible has 40 authors. Does this look like the 40 authors to y'all? Because I think if the Bible had 40 authors, it should look a little something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, not this, but this. Like, that would be a big book with 40 different people writing in it. So yes, they stole the Bible. It wasn't given to them. They stole it. They whitewashed it, and then they took out so many books and then put what they wanted people to believe in it. And that's why I make the executive decision as a child of God and a spiritual entity in this human experience to not sit here and take all my days just reading, trying to remember verses, or sit here and take all my days and be like, oh, Bible this, Bible that, Bible this. No, because every single time I have the urge to do that, God reminds me, like, Jesus didn't have a Bible though. So why do you feel as though you need this Bible? Even if this Bible was thicker, at the end of the day, I'm here for a reason that's even different from when Jesus was walking this earth. And only God can tell me what I need to do. It's up to me to use my intuition and my discernment that he gave each and every one of us to actually listen to his word and follow that. So it's a good plan. It's like making a business plan. Like, you make a business plan, you got the layout of how you want the business go, how it's gonna be set up, how everything go. But you're not in control, because at the end of the day, you gonna have mess-ups. You're gonna have things that you ain't even calculate for to happen. Things that you wanted to happen ain't gonna be able to happen because of other situations. This whole life stems from the Creator. Like, he has total control. And I believe if more people actually accepted that and stopped trying to be right and stop trying to actually be the highest source of God, especially when they're not even living it, like, and we could actually learn from each other, the world would be a better place. Because I'm pretty sure the people in this chat right now, y'all could teach me something that I don't know about. The whole point of us having different perspectives is to be able to go deeper and actually learn, evolve, and expand. Like, they changed it to where it's a sin if you're not straight. God loves everyone no matter who they like. Exactly. I'm gonna be honest, I've had a girlfriend before. And just the other day, God gave me a free meal. I went out, took myself out to eat. Thought I was going to be paying $50. God said, no, it's free. Like, all because I'm walking with him. I'm still in my car because God said I'm supposed to have this car. Like, mentally, and this is what I'm trying to help a lot of the elders understand. Mentally, y'all are in the box and don't even realize it. That's why we still living in the era of older generation versus younger generation. And it's us, if you're 26 and younger, and honestly, I'd be nice to say 27 and under. 27 under. We're doing our best to get out of the false ideologies that our parents was raised in, because our parents are so stuck that they don't even realize that we see the entrapment that their parent put on them and what they tried to put on us. So now we're out here today trying to break that and actually make this place heaven on earth and make it what it is actually supposed to be. I'm not a believer that we're supposed to be living a life of struggle, strife, and always paycheck to paycheck and always trying to make it, always trying to make it. No, like, it even said, God said you were sent here to live a fulfilling life. Somewhere down the line, it stopped being fulfilling. And instead of our grandparents and even our parents or even our great grandparents choosing to make the choice to put God first and choose God and step out of the society's norm of things, because first of all, society ain't normal, okay? Let's make that clear. But they keep taking that box and reinforcing that with the change parts of the Bible. Exactly. So I want to also hit on the parents, because the parents is the like main issue here. Honestly, anyone older than fucking 40 is the main issue in my opinion. Not even my opinion, in my truth that I found while studying with Yahweh. Parents are the main issue because they don't want to listen to the children that they pushed out. They believe that just because we are that their kids, that they don't have to respect us or listen to us. And actually, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and go to that verse that I was talking about. I believe it was Proverbs. Y'all give me 1 second. Proverbs, because it literally says respect your children. Like, but see, that's one of the verses in the Bible, and that's another thing I learned. Even because I used to go to church, I used to be a church baby. I was a church child growing up. Promise you, to the T, every day in church. And as I got older and started doing my own studying, God showed me a revelation, and he was like, yeah, you wasn't learning nothing. Y'all don't realize, like, they literally talk about the same verses every year. The verses don't change. The message doesn't change. It's the same thing. And these preachers are not pushing you to actually work on yourself and obtain a relationship to God. They're pushing you to feed their ideologies. So that's a good one. Okay, so I found Proverbs 22:6. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for it. Even this. So I'ma just honestly, hold on. I know what I'ma just read all the parents and verses. So first we go start off with Deuteronomy, just to make it easier for myself instead of trying to find that specific verse. So Deuteronomy 6:7. Alright, here it is. I even highlighted it for you all. Like I said, it's good to have it because there is truth in these Bibles. Okay, there's truth in it. So why, we gotta use it. So it says, and these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Now, what a lot of people do is they'll go to a verse and just read the verse and be like, oh, that's it. No. I like context clues. So I read the whole freaking thing. I go and read the whole verse to get better understanding about it, which a lot of people don't do. So that was that verse, and it's to break it down for y'all that didn't understand how the Bible speak, because they speak a little funny, like not like how we speak modernly. It's saying teach your children God in all walks of life. It don't matter if you're in the church, it don't matter if you're in the house, it don't matter if you're in a grocery store. God should always be ever present, and you need to teach your child how to keep God in every situation, in every scenario, in every life experience. And not just keeping, like I said, God is a consciousness in terms of this dimension realm, whatever you want to call it, reality. And the highest form of consciousness is love and light, right? And a lot of us are not living in love and light. Most definitely the parents. Like a lot of parents, like there's a lot of kids today in the age group that I'm hitting on, that the parents don't care to be in the child's life because the child is actually questioning them. Because the child is going deeper than what the basic level, the basic information that's been given. And the child's going deeper, as we should be. We should be doing that though. So this is the other one. We got Proverbs 1, 1:8. It says, my son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Okay, that's parenting. And you see how it says my son. And I've been trying to tell parents, like, y'all may be parents in this room, but at the end of the day, once I become an adult in this realm, I'm equal to you. We are brother and sister spiritually. Spirit come before flesh. This flesh is a protected shield. We are all spiritual entities. Before we're flesh. Life is full of struggle. Embrace it. You will be in peace. Touche, Batman. I like that. Someone should make a Bible that removes all of the bad stuff in it. Considering the school my mom says is the best one is trying to remove harsh books that show genuine reality, not sugar-coated. Thank you. Exactly. I don't even understand why everything's sugar-coated. Like, I've had to actually fix that within myself. I grew up in a household where everything, like, I'm very sensitive, and like my whole life God's been in my life, and I didn't even know until recently. But like growing up, I got picked on as a child from my family. My family picked on me. My family exiled me. My family embarrassed me and humiliated me, made me feel all types of negative emotions growing up, just because I was who God created. I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive to energies. I'm sensitive to smells. I am sensitive to people's emotions. Like I'm empathetic. I can feel people's emotions. I really can. And it be a struggle sometimes. I kid you not. So this is another parenting verse that is looked up in the Bible. It says, train up a child. This is Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. In the way he should go. And a lot of parents misconstrued that. I believe a lot of parents saw that verse and thought that, oh, so whatever I tell my child to do, they got to do it. No, baby. Whatever that child brings to you in terms of God putting it in their spirit, telling them, oh, I need you to be this way and do this, is then your job as that child's parent to help them succeed in what God has told that child to partake in. Because 9 times out of 10, that's that child's mission. And that's also been a part of why a lot of us are stuck in paycheck to paycheck and generational curses and living these struggle bus, if you will, lives, because instead of our parents nurturing what God put in our spirit at such a young age, they projected their insecurities and their fears and their doubts onto what we presented to them. So instead of that being nurtured and fed properly, it was put in a box, stored in somewhere cold to never be looked at again. Obviously until you come of age and then God slap it back in your face. He's like, oh yeah, I did want to do this as a little kid type stuff. And then you as an adult make that executive decision to be like, you know what? I am going to do this. Same thing but with friends. They don't understand that when they throw you away, it does genuine damage. And everything isn't a joke, which is way too broad of a word. Joke is way too broad of a word. I've actually grew up, like I've had relationships where I would be with the guy. He's so sweet. He's so nice. But then, like, he will joke about things that actually affect me in a negative light. Like, I don't even want to use the word trigger. Not trigger, but just it wasn't who I was in terms of a person. So, I agree. I most definitely agree with that. And then we're going to go to Ephesians. And I do want you guys to do your own research. Like, please don't look at what I'm saying and just take my word for it. Like, no, like, God may show you something different, and then that's your job to come out to these platforms and teach us. That's what the social media is for. That like there should be no reason this world is so bad, because we do have the internet and we all have discernment. Like if it's not for you, okay, it's not for you, but don't be bashing a person that believe what they believe. Just acknowledge the information that you got and move on. There's no hard done in it, because at the end of the day, your walk is unique for you and what your soul contract is per the creator himself. Like that was between you and the creator. So at the end of the day, only you and the creator and anyone else on your spirit team know about your mission. No one else here, I don't care how many people say they psychic or can read minds, no they cannot. Because first of all, no one is Jesus enough for God to even want to give them that type of power. No one is Jesus enough for that. That's just the cold hard truth. Ain't nobody Jesus enough to be having the powers that Jesus had, like being able to touch somebody and heal them by just words. No one actually has that power, because no one's actually living life. A lot of people are talking it. A lot of people are working on getting there, but no one is actually quite there yet. So the last one we have Ephesians 6:4. And Ephesians 6:4 also is for family as well. And it says, And ye fathers provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition. I don't know why that was so hard. Admonition of the Lord. Okay, it literally says, provoke not your children. My mom has gaslighted me my whole life. In terms of my emotions, in terms of my truth, in terms of how I view things, I was gaslit. Ain't that provoking your children? Another verse that parents are not following, even though it isn't like in the same gender loving and so much more genuine things that are nature are the time you actually meet the real God. Yep. It's in the pain, it's in the sinning where you actually do like meet God. And you gotta see, really though, the main ingredient of it all is faith, because and that's why in this experience I know to believe we will not ever, no one will not ever be able to be Jesus or have the powers that Jesus had, because our faith. No one has a strong faith like Jesus did. Like, this dude literally walked this earth. He was exiled. He was called crazy. And he ain't care about none of that. He said so. God said this. And that's all I'm going to believe, because I know he the truth. And I know he created you, this, that, and the third, and everything in between. And he knows it all. So at the end of the day, I don't have to, anybody do me wrong, it's not my job. I'm going to just go to God and be like, God, this is what happened, and I need you to go ahead and handle that. Have fun with your vengeance. He literally says, take it to him. A lot of people don't even do that. We wanting to get vengeance on our own. Like, no, take it to God. God said, bring me everything. To someone earlier in the chat said, God doesn't ask us for anything, but he does. He tells us to give him everything. That's literally the only thing we gotta do is give God everything. We struggle with money, go give it to God. God, I give you this situation because it's a struggle. I don't know what to do. We were not created or built to be able to sustain everything of this world, because if we was, God would be down here chilling with us. That's what I believe. Like, it wouldn't be no, we're supposed to be learning and doing all this extra stuff. He would actually be here with us, enjoying the world that he created. But instead, it turned into a experience of lessons, literally. Like, even when you're up good, they're still learning lessons, because 9 out of 10 they're most likely not living the way God wants them to live, and most of these people are not living the way God wants them to live. So another verse I got is submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. That's a part of family. Family is meant to be leaning on each other, okay? Not being selfish, in other words. So I then looked up creation, right? Oh, wait, sorry. Since we're talking about parents, so this is the definition I looked up and found about parenting per AI Google, right? It says, anyone who raises, cares for, and provides for a child. Okay, cool. So then I looked it up in the biblical sense. It says, a steward ordained by God to nurture, teach, and discipline children in faith, love, and righteousness. How many of y'all parents are doing that? Steward. Because at first I was like, a steward? What does a steward? What does steward mean? So I looked up steward. In the Google sense, a steward is a person who looks for the passenger, responsible for supplies, manage, or look after things. A steward in the biblical sense is a manager or overseer entrusted to care for his household resources and people. Parents are literally just a steward. Like, they were ordained to do it. And I can't fathom why parents be putting so much on their children. Like, God gave you children because he ordained you to be a mentor of his word, of who he is. A lot of parents ain't do that. They've been so attached to this worldly stuff and these ideologies of this world and bills. First of all, bills are not even real. First of all, money is not even real. Money is fake. It's paper. It's not real. It's just not. I can't even tell you why it's not. I just know for a fact paper is fake. Okay, like all this money stuff, it isn't real. So wisdom, truth, perspective. Those are the next verses I'm gonna be hitting on. We're gonna start off with perspective, because that's the main thing that tripped people up today, is the perspective. So first we're going to Genesis 50:20. I ain't know it was that many verses in Genesis, but it makes sense. So we're going to Genesis 50:20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass at it as it is this day to save much people alive. So, isn't that what people did with Jesus? They thought he was evil because he was doing God's work to save the people that had just a mustard seed of faith to show them that he is real. And everyone was like, you're evil, witch. That's where the witches stuff came in. It came from uneducated people about stuff that they didn't understand. And if you notice, that's what this world does. If you are outside of the box, oh, you're automatically the devil. The moment you're outside of society's norms, you're automatically the devil. But God is bigger than society's norms. And a lot of people don't realize that. They preach, they say God this, God that, but then living in societal norms, not realizing you're not even living a God, because you're living in the way of this earthly world, not in the way of your spirit and where your spirit actually came from. Okay? So that's Genesis 50:20. So then we're gonna go to Psalms. We're gonna go to Psalms. Where is it? Perspective. Psalms 51:4. All right. And here it is. Against thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. So that means, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to read from 1 down so y'all can get it. Because like I said, context clues, right? So it says, have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy love and kindness. According unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. We're all bastards, y'all know that, right? Behold, the direst truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts. And in the hidden parts, the parts we cannot see inside, thou shalt make me know wisdom. Okay? That's the verse strictly talk about perspective. All right? So then we're going to go to Luke 18:27. Lukey. Luke 18. Oh, there it is. I see the highlighted orange. So it says, and he said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God. This is one of the biggest verses that people literally put a cap on God. Like, it literally says, and he said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God. But yet we have these exact same Christians and everybody else in a specific religion that don't believe we could live in a world that is strictly positive, strictly good, strictly not of the devil. We could literally have heaven on earth. But see, so many people don't believe in this simple phrase right here. And he said, the things which are impossible with man are possible with God. It's possible. Okay? This is a good perspective verse, because at the end of the day, like, that is a choice that you choose. Like, either you're going to choose to view this world of like a man and see all the impossibilities of the world, or you're going to choose God's perspective and see just how everything is possible. Okay? So then we're going to go to Romans 8:28. Romans. Okay. So Romans 8:28. We're still on perspective, by the way. For those of you know, we're still on perspective. So Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. And we know, now this is about perspective, okay? And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, To them who are called according to his purpose. So anyone that chooses their purpose and love God, he see. What does this say? Parent. Wait. Okay, and then Romans 8:35 through 39. It says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord." The only way you can be separate from God is if you make that choice to be separate from God. That's not. Said it right here. Nothing can separate you from God. You can't even separate you from God. Y'all, I'm going to be honest. I done tried. I wanted to. I was like, this is too much. God was like, no, you are my child, baby. I love you. And I know you don't understand or see it now, but it's okay. Because you will later down the line. And I can honestly say I've seen it. So now we're finna hit on wisdom. So we're going to go back to Proverbs. Back to the Proverbs. So we're going back to Proverbs. And we're going to go to Proverbs 2:6 through 22. So I'm going to go ahead and read this whole thing. Proverbs 2:6 through 22. So, for the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked and they forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words, which forsake the God of her youth, and forgiveth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteousness. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressor shall be rooted out of it. Y'all, we're in this time right now. Like, if you haven't noticed how the government, a lot of the stuff about how the government has been lying, keeping stuff from us is coming out. Tables are turning. Wisdom. He's giving us the truth. Because a lot of us, whether we want to accept that or realize that or not, a lot of us are actually seeking the truth and wanting to live in truth. And God is showing it. We're in the end times more than people realize. We're in the end times more than people realize. And then it says Proverbs 9:10. So we're going to go with Proverbs. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So if you understand something, that's God. If you don't understand something, you need to go to him to get understanding. That's how that works. And it's honestly, one thing I've noticed about the religions, specifically the Christian faith, is they literally try and confuse you with everything. They try and confuse you, which is of the devil. Confusion is of the devil. Which is why I don't choose I don't care to partake in religion, because honestly, at the end of the day, God made all those religions anyway. Like, when you think about the creator source and how powerful he is, and he knows beginning, middle, and end, y'all really don't think he don't see what y'all doing in these religious groups? Like, it's like we've been so indoctrinated that we believe that the truth that a lot of spiritual people are speaking on today is a lie, which has been part of the devil's plan. Is to make you think that when God got to this point of actually putting the truth into people for them to speak on it, that we're lying or we're crazy or we're just making it up and pulling it out of our butt. But I promise you, I've been isolated. I'm single. I don't have no family support. I support myself. God supports me. Literally, God is my supporter. I don't talk to my mother. I don't talk to none of my family that I was born into. The biological stuff, I don't talk to them. It's me, myself, and God. And we doing it. And I'm still here. And I know I'll make it another year. Because I choose him. I don't choose this earthly, worldly stuff that keeps me trapped and chained to the devil. All this earthly stuff is of the devil. Bills, that's of the devil. Like, all this, the way this is set up is to have you confused, have you trapped, and God does not want that for us. And he says that more than once. He does not want that for us. Okay, wisdom, we're going to go to Colossians 2:3. Colossians 2:3. Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and read this because this also has truth in it as well, which is going to be our next category. So we're going to go ahead and read Colossians 1-6 because that combines wisdom and truth, right? So 2:1-6. For I would that ye knew what great conflict I have for you, and for them at Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face in the flesh, many have not. But God has you like Moses in the burning bush. He still show up. He may not physically come here, but he shows up every day. That their hearts might be conformed, being knitted together in love, and unto all riches of the full assurance of understanding and the acknowledgement of the mystery of God and of the Father and of Christ, in whom are hid all the treasures, in whom... Wait a minute! Many as have not seen my face in the flesh, that their hearts might be comforted, being knitted together in love, and unto all riches of the full assurance of understanding, and to the acknowledgement of the mystery of God and the Father and of Christ, in whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. What did I just say? He's given all the truth and all the wisdom and all the knowledge is already hidden within us. It's already hidden within us. Right. And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with inciting words. For though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit, joying and beholding your order and the steadfast of your faith in Christ. As ye have therefore received Christ Jesus the Lord, so walk ye in him. So that was that. And then true, which things have indeed a show of wisdom, and will worship and humility in neglecting of the body, not in any honor to the satisfying of the flesh. Meaning, the more we satisfy our fleshly desires and needs and wants, the less we are feeding him, which is what he asks us to do. Like this, the spiritual walk isn't easy, and I'm not saying it's easy. It's most definitely hard because of the world we live in, because of how everything is set up. And my phone is on 13%. I'm gonna most definitely have to charge. But it's still like, how can I say this? A lot of people think and believe that just because he's not here, and just because this is the world that we live in, that it is okay to not give to him. That, oh, well, Jesus already died for my sins, so it don't matter what I do here because, you know, I've already been saved. But no, because if any one of us is here right now, we're here for a reason. A lesson, a blessing, to change the course of what's been going on. That's y'all, it's so hot. I need to put on some more deodorant. I'm so sorry. I was like, ooh. It's okay, I'm gonna put some deodorant on after this. But this goes really deep, and I'm most definitely gonna have to do a part 2 because my phone is dying, and I'm gonna dive deeper into this because, oh, I did want to hit on something. So did y'all know the New Testament wasn't even made until 50 to 100 Christ era? Like, so you know you have the before Christ, the Christ era, and then after Christ, right? So the New Testament, I believe the New Testament is where a lot of the contradictions come from, honestly and truthfully, because I've read the Old Testament, and a lot of the stuff in the Old Testament do make sense. So I mainly use the Old Testament when I'm like doing my studies and trying to break things down, because I know the Old Testament was approximately made while, like, before Christ, coming into the Christ era when he was actually walking this earth. There's a 400-year gap from there's a 400-year gap from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So there's literally 400 years unaccounted for, because the spirit realm was silenced, because they was working on a plan to actually correct what needs to be corrected. To talk about my beautiful guy that was here prior, that is no longer here, Tasman, talking about the books and stuff, there has been 7 books removed, approximate. Altogether, there's been about 20 books. Like these books right here, the tabs, there has been known to be approximately 20 books taken out of the Bible. So that's 20 books filled with information from source that we have no access to. It's here. Somebody most definitely has it, but they're gatekeeping. And that's what also God is correcting, is the gatekeeping. And I've actually recently asked God, I was like, did Jesus have a wife or children? Because, you know, that's also not in the Bible. Like, Jesus, like, we don't know if Jesus was married. We don't know if Jesus have kids. We just know Jesus walked this earth and he called us his children. Like, he called everyone his children. Like, so that was a little confusing to me too, but I'm still waiting on Yahweh to show me the message. But hopefully y'all got something with this. I'm most definitely going to be studying a little bit more and coming back into it, because this is most definitely interesting. I want to shout out the people that came and joined. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. Even the ones that baited, y'all gonna still learn something whether you realize it or not. God is in everyone's life, and he's gonna make sure that his children wake up and do their part and do what they're supposed to do, because we need to. We really need to. Like, we just do. Thank you for my 5 likes. I love you all. Thank you for the interaction. I'm actually most definitely going to be doing lives more often, because, I mean, whoever that guy was, we're just, yeah, if he comes back in the next live, we're just going to block him, because that was OD. Him and whoever Logan is, like, trolls, whatever. But yes, thank you to everyone who came. I wonder who Too Fast Too Furious is. I'm gonna look them up. Thank you to everyone who joined the live. I will be coming back up to do this again, because we most definitely need to dive deeper. This talk didn't go the way I actually wanted it to go, but at least I had to talk, and I've been sitting on having this conversation for a while now. And I know God's just happy that I actually put the messages out there, but there's most definitely more to be said and more to break down and more to open up about, and I'll be making sure I do that. I will be posting a video tonight, because it's a school assignment. So if you want to go look at a story time, because my class is based off of storytelling right now. That's what I'm learning, audio production, like how to talk to an audience. So it's actually teaching me a lot, which I'm actually very happy about. So if you want to check out that video will be posted on this channel tonight, and you can see a story time about me, and I dive deeper in, like, why I am who I am, why I decided to do the things that I've decided to do, and stuff like that. Like, so yes, all praises to Yahweh. Thank you, and peace, love, and light to you all. Stay beautiful.